Hello viewer, welcome to the session of MS Excel Macro 2010. In my previous session we have seen what is form, VBA forms, what are the controls and how to create these and how to write a code on the command button. Here in this session we will see what is the objective of the session, and we will see more demo on user forms and then use of forms control like combo box, text box and command button. Writing code on command button, click event, form initialize event and workbook open event. So objective of this session is, after this session you will be able to create user form, to create controls like text box, label and command button on user form. You'll be able to write code for click event, form initialize event and workbook open event. To get started, we will go to the Excel workbook. Now you can see in sheet 1 there is a data like in column A serial number, in B date, in C item sold, in D quantity, in E rate and in F amount. So this way we are going to create a data entry form wherein we will be entering the data through the form and storing the same into the Excel worksheet sheet 1. So before we start, think about why this user form is required if we can directly enter into the sheet 1. No, but think of it, if you have an urgent requirement from your boss that you need to punch for 5,000 invoices details here, and you don't have time, you have given a very short time, and you have the two office boys with you whom you can convince to do the activity, but the constraint is that they don't know the Excel. Now it's a big problem. If they don't know the Excel, then how would they enter it? Now, so here you know VBA forms and controls. So you thought of a plan that you will create a user form, data entry form, and you will give it to both of them so that you will get your work done with the help of office boy. So this way you have thought of plan, and this way we can create a data entry form using VBA user forms and controls, and we will get the work done with the person who doesn't know the Excel. So we will get started. For getting started, we will go to the developer tab. From here we will go to the Visual Basic editor. Now just right click on Microsoft Excel objects. From here insert, and from insert just click on user form. Now the user form is appearing on the right panel of the editor. From here we will just resize the user form and we will start creating the data entry forms. So for that, first we will create serial number. For creating label, just drag it to the right side holding left mouse button. Now it's created. We will go into the caption of its properties and change the caption to serial number. Now we will pick up the text box from control toolbox, and here we will just drag it holding left mouse button towards right, drop it. We will give the name here txt si number. Now we don't need to print the serial number, but it should get populated automatically. So for that, what are we going to do here? We are just going to log the cell, log the text box, so that user can't make any entry in this text box as it is locked. So for locking that, you need to search in the properties, just scroll it down and you will see the logged property is there. So in the log properties, as you can see, the default value is false, so just make it to true. Just click here, so you will get the drop down list. Just click on the down arrow key. Now you will say see true, false and 0 from mouse pointer default. So we will select true. Now this text box is locked. So this way we will create the another label. For that, just click on user form, then the text box control toolbox is appearing. Again select the label. So this way we will create a labels and the required fields to be entered. Now we are just creating the user form using labels and text boxes. Again we will put here the date. For that also we will just change the label name from label to date, and then again we will create. Just click on user form. Yeah, we are back again into the user form. Now just select the text box, hold the left mouse button key and drag it towards right and make it same size up as the text box 1, and again we will change the name of it as txt date. Now we will create the next, that is the item sold. So for that, first we will print the label. So for label, just select the label and now just hold the left mouse button key and drag it towards right. Just change the label name from label 3 to item sold. For that we will go to the properties caption. Here we will change the label 3 to item sold. Come back into the user form, just go back to the controls of the toolbox and select the text box. Again we will create another text box which will hold the information of item sold, but this time for item sold we will not selecting the text box, so we will delete this text box and we will be selecting the combo box. That means we are giving that select option so that it will be selected from the drop down list. For that you need to select the combo box option box. Now just hold the left mouse button key and drag it towards right. Now you can see the combo box is created. Just give the name. Combo item. Now we will take the another field, that is quantity, then rate, then amount. So for quantity we will create label. Change the caption from label 4 to quantity. Just click on user form. Now just go to the control toolbox, select the text box, just drag it holding the left mouse button key. Now change the text box name from text box 1 to text box quantity, that is txtqty. Again we will create another label for rate. Just change the caption from label 5 to rate. Now we will select the text box and create the text box for rate. Now we will take amount. So for that, just first select the label and create the label as amount. Just change the caption from label 6 to amount. Just click on user form, then select the text box control and just hold the left mouse button key on user form area and just drag it towards right. Now you can see the entry form is ready. Now we need to create two command buttons. One is for save and one is for closing the form. So for that we will select from toolbox the command button, just drag it towards right and give it the name as save from command button 1. So for that first we will change the name of the command button. We will give name as cmd save. Now we will change the caption of it from command button 1 to save. Now you can see the text appearing on the button is save. We will create one more command button. Just create the another command button beside the first one. Now again we will change the name of it to cmd close, and we will change the caption from command button 1 to close form. Now our data form is ready. Entry form data is ready. Now as we have to populate serial number automatically, we have to populate the date as today's date. That means the date on which we are entering the data. So for that we will make the date text box as locked. So for locking it, just go to the properties and scroll it down till you reach to the locked property. Now you can see here is the lock property. Just change from false to true. Now the date field is also logged. Now we will log the amount field. Here our purpose is the amount will get calculated automatically based on quantity and rate. So we will log the amount text box as well. Just go to the text property and just find the log. So as we are already on the log property, so just change it to true. Now we have made the 3 text boxes as logged so that user cannot make entries to these text boxes. Now if we will run this, then what will happen? Just run it by clicking on run sub or user form 5 button. So run button is this. You can run it by F5 or just clicking on this run button. So I'm just running it. Now what happened? You can see the user form, the data entry form is appearing in front of you. If I click on save or close form, nothing is happening, meaning the form is ready, it is running as well, but we can't make any entry, we can't do anything because we have not written any code on the any action of the button, any event of the button or any event of the any control existing in the user form. So to make the task done, to get the task done, you need to write some code on the event of command button or any event of the form or any event of the any control existing in this user form. So here we will write a code on the event of save button and then close form button. So for that we will close this form. Again, for writing a code, first we will write on the initialize event of the form. So for going to the event of the form or any control, just double click anywhere in the form or any control existing on the form. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just clicking on the user form, double clicking. Now we are placed into the Visual Basic editor. Now you can see private sub user form click. So this is the click event of the form, but we are not going to write any code on user form click. So we will change the event from just selecting. As you can see here, the user form is given and on the right side you can see it's the click event selected. To select another event, just click on the drop down and you will see the list of the events of the form. So here we will select the initialize event. Now you can see the another subroutine is populated in the editor automatically. So in this event we are going to write. So we will delete this click event and we are going to write our code on the user form initialize event. So for that, what are we going to write here? We are just going to do first we will activate the worksheet. So for that, worksheets sheet 1 dot range A1, not A1 because in row 1 there is a header, so we will be placing our active selection at cell A2, then dot select. So once the form is initialized, these tasks written in this subroutine will be executed. And so next we will be just checking some conditions with if then else statement. So first of all, we will check the active cell value is blank or not. So for that, if active cell dot value equals to blank, then what? We will place end if, and between if and end if we will be writing the actions and else if conditions. So here now our if the cell A1 A2 is blank, then we will be placing the values of serial number in cell A2. So for that, what I am going to write here, I am just going to assign the serial number into the form's text box serial number, wherein we need to calculate the serial number automatically. So for that, I am just going to write the name of the text box for serial number txt and just press Ctrl and spacebar, and you will get the controls placed on the user form, the names of the controls placed on the user form. So here we will select, you can see txt si number, just select it. Now dot text, that means in the text box text we are placing value. So here what we will do, active cell dot row -1, meaning the active cell is on cell A2, that means row number 2. So our aim is to start the serial number from 1, so that is what active cell dot row is producing us 2. So we will make it 1 by subtracting 1. So this way the text box serial number will display the default value as 1. Now we will check another condition. If A2 cell is not blank, then what? Then we will check the another condition, that is active cell dot offset. Offset means just checking of the offset cells, that means offset by number of rows and number of columns. So here I am just checking the next cell. So for that I'll give offset row 1, and then we are checking in the same column, so column index number will be 0, then dot value not equals to blank, then active cell dot offset if else if active cell dot offset 1, 0 dot value not equals to blank. If the first A2 cell is not blank, then we will check whether the next cell is blank or not. So we are checking here the condition whether the next cell is blank or not. So if it is blank, if it is not blank, then do the task. So what is the task we are going to do here? We are just going to take our active selection at the end of the data. So for that, selection dot end Excel down dot select. Now this code will place our active selection at the end of the row where the data exists. Now next Now we will be placing txt si number dot text equals to active cell dot offset 1,0 dot row minus 1. Here we are placing the value in text box serial number equals to active cells. That means by this code we have placed our active selection at the end of the data exists, and after that the next cell which is blank, the value of that row minus 1. Then again, if this condition is not true, then what? Then we are checking the else part, else, and we will do the same thing. This way. So here what we did, first we check whether the active selection, that means cell A2 is blank, then place the value of that row number, the active selection's row number minus 1. So that means 2 minus 1. If that cell is not blank, then check whether the next cell of A2, that means A3, is not blank. If it is not blank, then place our active selection at the end of the data, end of the row where data exists. So if the next cell is not having the any data, that means if the next cell is not next cell is blank, then simply directly just take the value of row number of that cell minus 1. So this way we are placing the automatically calculated serial number in serial number text box. Now next what will we do? We will be placing the date into the text box, date text box. So for that txt, and you can see txt date dot text equals to, we will simply put the date. So date is nothing but by default today's date will be printed. So this is the inbuilt function in VBA which you can use for printing the current date. Now our next task is to make the next control, that is the combo box, active. So for making that active we will use the set focus. For that combo, and what is the name, item dot set focus, meaning we are then setting our focus to the next control, that is combo box, because serial number is automatically populating and date is automatically coming. So our focus on the control will be the combo item. So for that we are just written the code combo item dot set focus. So next what we will be doing, we will be just assigning the values in the combo box in the drop down list. So for adding a item in the combo box, you need to use the combo box name, in this case combo item dot add item, and then in double quotes the name you want, the value you want to input. So here I am just taking Lenovo, then again combo item dot add item, then Dell, again combo item dot add item equals to HP. So we have added 3 values in the combo box. So for adding values in the combo box, you just need to use combo box name and then dot add name. So this way as many as numbers of item you can add in the combo box using the combo box name dot add item. So here our task is done. So once the form is initialized, once the form will run, these code will get executed. Now our our next task is we will go to the user form. Now we have done the task which has to be done on form initialization. Now we will be doing one thing, calculation of amount automatically based on quantity and rate. So whatever the quantity will be typed here, and once the rate will be typed here, the amount will get calculated automatically. For that we will be writing a code on the change event of text box rate. So this one, you can see the name is text box 1, so we will change the name here, txt rate. Now the name of this text box is txt rate. Just double click on it. Now we are placed into the change event of text box text rate, txt rate. So here we will write the code like if txt rate equals to blank, then txt, we will check what is the name we have given for amount. For that, just go to the user form and just click on the amount text box, and what is the name is here, so we will change the name of it as txt amt, that is txt amount. Now we will go back to the Visual Basic Editor in the change event of text box txt rate, and here we will place some task. Once the txt rate equals to blank, then txt amount equals to 0, else we will do txt amt equals to, now we will go back to the user form and see what is the name of the quantity. It is txt quantity. So go back to the change event of the rate. So here txt quantity into txt rate. So we have written the command on txt rate change event. On the change event of text box rate is that it will calculate the amount based on quantity and rate. So as you can see, I have just assigned the value to txt amount equals to txt quantity into txt rate. Now our next task is we will do task on the click of save button. So for that, just go to the user form. So in the left panel on user form, just double click on the user form one. You are placed back to the user form. Now our task is to write a code on the click of save button. So for that, just double click on save button. Now we are placed into the click event of command button cmd save. So here we will write our code. So for that, what we will do, worksheets sheet 1 dot activate. Here what we are doing, we are activating the sheet 1, and then worksheets sheet 1 dot range a2 dot select. So we are placing our active selection in cell a2, and then again we will use if then else statement to check certain criterion, certain condition, and based on that condition we will be placing values into the active cells of the sheet 1 into the respective column of the serial number, item sold, date, quantity, rate and amount. So how, I'll show you. So I'm just starting writing the code. So if active cell dot value equals to blank, then so I'm just writing end if, so that in between if and end if I'll be writing my tasks. So first task is active cell is, if active cell is blank, then active cell dot value equals to, now I'm placing the value of serial number, so the values existing in serial number text box will be assigned to the active cell dot value. So for that, txtsi number dot text. Now here what are we doing? We are assigning the value in the txtsi number text box to active cell dot value. Now the next is active cell dot offset 0, as the current active selection is blank, so we are placing the value in the active cell. So we are not going to place the value in the next cell, so the same will cell will remain same. So that is what I just place the row index number as 0 and the column number as 1, because in the first column we have placed the serial number value. So next column is your date. So for next I'm just offsetting it by one column, so that is what I placed column offset column index number 1, then dot value. Now the value will be coming from txt date dot text. Now what are we going to do? So this way we will be placing values into the next column, just offsetting by 1 1 1 1. So next offset will be 0, row index will be 0 and the column will be 2, column index will be 2, so that the value will be placed into the next column. So for that, active cell dot offset 0, 2 dot value equals to, now we have to take the value from combo box. So for combo box, just enter the combo box name. So combo box name in this case is combo item dot, here we are not going to add any items, but we have to take the value of the combo box item selected. So for that, just take the value. So this way whatever the value will be selected in the combo box will be assigned to the active cell offset by 2 column. Now the next will be active cell dot offset 0, 3 dot value equals to txt quantity dot text. So next will be active cell dot offset 0, 4, that means we are placing value in column 4, value equals to now the rate dot text, and the final one will be amount. So for that, active cell dot offset 0, 5 dot value equals to, now we will be assigning the value of amount text box dot text. So this way we have written, if the active cell dot value equals to blank, then do all these tasks, that means execute all these lines. Now we will check the another condition, else if active cell dot offset by 1 row and 0 column dot value not equals to blank, then then our task will be same only. So that is what we are going to copy the codes we written for condition number 1 and paste it in the condition number 3, and we will now change the offset values. Here is 1, offset by 1 row, offset by 1 row, because we are checking the offset next cell, offset by 1 row meaning the next cell value. If next cell value is not blank, then what? So before that, what are we going to do? We are just going to selection, we are just going to write selection dot end Excel down dot select, because if the next cell is not blank, then we will be pressing the control plus down arrow key to take our current selection to the last data existing in the last cell. So we will be placed, our active selection will be placed in the last cell of the data exists, and then once that selection is done, then the next cell insert the value into the next cell. So that is what everywhere I am using offset by 1, and column will remain same. So this way we have done with the else the next cell is not blank. Then now if this condition is also not true, then we will check else. So in else we will be putting the same code. Now you can see, if cell A2 is blank, then we will be placing the value in the same cell but in the different columns, that is in column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if this condition is not true, that is active cell, that means A2, then we will check the next cell value is not blank. If it is not blank, then we will be taking our active selection to the end of the data. So we will select the end cell of the data exists. So after that we will be placing the value to the next empty cell, and if this condition is not true, then simply we will have to place the values in the next row into column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this way we have written the code. Now after that, what are we going to do? We are just going to do txt si number dot text equals to active cell dot offset 1, 0 dot row minus 1. Then we are going to make all the values for combo box item as blank, text box quantity as blank, and rate as blank, and amount as 0. So for that, combo item dot value equals to 0. Then txt quantity dot text equals to, for blank just place the double quotes, then txt rate dot text equals to blank. So for blank we are just placing the double quotes and no values in between the double quotes. So this way we have made all the values 0, that is quantity and rate, and then we will make the amount as 0. So for making amount as 0, txt amt dot text equals to 0. So this way our code is ready now. So if you will run, just clicking on the run command, you will see now the serial number with 1 and the date is with the default date of now, that is 411, and you can see the drop down is assigned the values Lenovo, Dell, HP, and then quantity and everything is blank. So for making this run we can check. So I'm just, in this case I'm just selecting Lenovo and just putting the quantity as 12 and then placing the value as 23,000. Now you can see we got an error here as we have not placed and if. Now we will run it again. So just select Lenovo, quantity 12, value 23,000, and you can see the amounts value is automatically coming. Now if I'll click on save, you can see the value printed in the row number 2 as serial number, date, item sold, quantity, rate, amount. So this way we can use this data entry form and do our activities. Now few more things. I'll just close this. I'll go back to the Excel worksheet sheet 1 and delete this value, and now we will go back to the Visual Basic Editor. And here now what if I'll click on this run button, then this form is running, but I want to assign this. I want this form to run as and when the workbook gets open. So for that we will go to the Visual Basic Editor. Now here just double click in the left panel, you can see the objects of the Excel workbook. So just double click on this workbook. Now you can see in the drop down list general and workbook. So just select the workbook. Now you can see the subroutine workbook open. So this is the event of workbook. So here we will place the code. So for running the user form, you just need to write the form name. So in this case user form 1, user form 1 dot show. So this way we have assigned on the event of workbook open the command show user form 1 dot show. So as and when the workbook will get open, this user form 1 dot show code will get executed. Now our next task is to assign some code on close form button. So for that what I'm going to do here, as I double clicked on close form button, you can see we are placed into the close form click event. So in that what I'm going to do, I'm just going to unload me. Me means the user form and unload means it is just unloading the user form. Now our code is ready. So we will run this and see the results. So for that I'm just going back to the Excel workbook and just saving it. For saving the file, just cancel it, just save, just click on save. Now we will save this. So I'll save it in my recording folder. And for saving any of the macro contained workbook, you just need to select the extension type as XLSM. In normal XLSX form you cannot save the file which is having the macros code in it. So for saving the file containing macro, you need to select the extension .xlsm. And now I'm giving the name demo for form and today's date. Fair enough. Now we will close this and open it again. So this is our file. We have opened it. Now you can see once we have just double click on file and the file gets open, the user form is shown in front of us. Now we will start our activity. So like, just select Lenovo, place some quantity here, 23, place some rate here, and now you can see once you place the rate here, the amount is automatically got calculated. Now just save it. You can see the value got printed in sheet 1 at row 2. Now we will select the another one, that is Dell. Now we will place some quantity here. So in this case I am placing 23, and we will put some rate, so like 25,000, and you can see the amount is automatically calculated. Now just click on save, and you can see the second row is placed with the data we entered in user form. Now again we will select some product. So here in this case I am selecting HP. Just place some quantity, so like 90, place the rate of it, 45,000. Now you can see the amount is automatically calculated. Now save it. So this way you have seen that our data entry form is ready to enter the data into the sheet 1. And if we will click on close form button, now the form is disappeared. So this way we have created user form, data entry user form, and we will assign this task. We will get our urgent task done by using the user form and user control. So this way now your problem is resolved. You will be able to get your work done as committed to your boss. So thank you viewer. In my next session I will be coming with some more useful, and we will be using there the other controls of the user form. Thank you.